Sometimes when things go wrong, you can't blame life. Cause when you shot your shot, what was your aim like? What were you targeting? Cause if it ain't right, and you still go with it, then that is on you. It's on you, it's on you, it's on you.
What's going on, you guys? This is Romi and Sam here, and you are listening to the Mindset Rebooted podcast.
And if you're a first-time listener, thank you so much for stopping by. Here on the Mindset Rebooted podcast, we like to have conversations that help us to elevate the way we think.
So if you get any value from this episode, please share it with one person so we can help even more people.
Today, we are going to be talking about asking the right questions. What does that mean? It means that there's a whole bunch of questions to be asked, but not every question is the right question.
Don't you hate it like when you start a new job and they're like, hey, just start working. Yeah. And most people, this is what I used to do in college, I'd be like, all right, what do you want me to do?
Right.
That's like the worst question to ask because the answer is going to be very vague.
Yeah.
Right? So we need to know what our goals and our objectives are so that we have the direction of what to put our efforts towards.
That's exactly right. Knowing the goals and objectives. Now I'm going to be able to ask clarifying questions or questions that are seeking for ways to do things more effectively and efficiently to achieve those goals and objectives. Those are the types of questions we want to ask.
When I was in college, I was a group fitness supervisor for the campus recreation facility. My job was to help people know when to take classes. That's essentially my job and should fill up those classes. And so when I started doing it, I found myself spending so much time on things that didn't really matter or didn't move the needle forward. I got into the fonts. I got into the drop-down menus. Drop-down menus or bullet points. Which one do you prefer? Or do you want everything to already be outlined? Or the accordion style? This is for the old school website developers. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I spent so much time. I spent my whole hour, my shift there. All I needed to do was just update the times and the locations. But because I wasn't asking the right questions, I was just spending my time on busybody work. I was using my time ineffectively. And if I was a business owner, I'd be like, you just wasted my money.
There'll be multiple parties to blame in this, but if I'm the person who was in Romi's shoes, rather than me focusing on what's the right font, I would actually put myself in the shoes of the student and I would put myself in that position saying, okay, I just need to know where to go so I can get to my class on time. I'm on a time crunch, right? I'm running from across campus from here to there. So if I'm that student, that means I want something to be legible, something to be big enough that I don't have to necessarily go all the way up to the board. I can kind of be like whatever distance and I can still see it. All of those different things solve for me exactly what I need to do. Probably spent maybe 5 minutes doing it, right? And then another thing too is if I'm the person who is new and I'm just like, well, what do you want me to do using the question that you asked earlier? That means that the person who is tasking them probably should do a better job in clarifying what the goals and objectives are, right? And so that's something. So for example, if I'm part of a sales team and my leader is just saying, all right, guys, you go out there and sell as much as you can. Well, that's already a bad start, right? Because I need to understand A, the product, B, I also need to understand my audience, C, I need to understand what it is, how much they want me to sell. And so for me to be motivated in going about doing things more efficiently, I might ask, what is our weekly or monthly or quarterly quota? What is it that we're looking to accomplish? What does that actually result in? Okay, like those are the different things that in my mind are going to allow for me to then go out and be able to be more efficient and effective with my time, as opposed to you giving me a blanket statement by saying, go out there and sell as much as you can. Well, as much as I can, that can mean a whole bunch of different things. Like, I don't know, I have no target. So asking those clarifying questions is gonna be most helpful in you being effective and efficient.
And then here's a question you should ask yourself. What is the best use of my time? So going back to my example, when I was a student doing the grip fitness and promoting it, I spent my entire shift, that was I think a 5-hour shift, worrying about fonts and the accordion style on the website, right? And if I ask myself, hey, do you think you would have been able to promote the group fitness classes better if you went to the different departments and just talked about it and dropped off flyers and put it on the bulletin boards? Do you think you would have gotten more awareness of your events that way?
Wow.
I've also advised some people who started new clubs. They're like, hey, we're trying to do our recruitment, or new studios, we're trying to recruit people. And I'm like, okay, so how are you telling people about your studio? How are you telling people about the offering that you have? Oh, I'm just posting on social media, you know. And I'm like, okay, you have 200 people following you on your social media page. That's not the best use of your time. What would move the needle better would be hey, do you have neighbors around you of all the businesses, and have you contacted them via email to notify them about what's going on? Have you made face-to-face time with them so that they know their new neighbor, or they know you? Now there's a relationship, that there's a direct line of communication with them now. Would that be better use of your time than just posting on Instagram?
Yeah, that's a great point, because your Instagram, you might have 200 followers. In fact, heck, you could have 40 million followers. You want to know something? That may not be the best use of your time if that 40 million followers is no one in your target audience.
And if they don't buy, like, it's a waste of time if your goal is, again, going back to goal, if your goal is to get more money.
Exactly.
Right? Now, what if your goal is to just build your brand and do more marketing? Okay, maybe social media is more important, because you're able to collaborate with other people, other influencers, and get the shareability aspect of it for earned media. Okay, that might be a better use of your time, but what is your goal?
Exactly. And so key to asking the right questions, it would mean understanding that there is no solution that is a one-size-fits-all. It means that when you are at a different stage, or you're in a different organization, that means you have different objectives. So how you would approach one situation, it may change in a different organization or in a different situation. That's going to help keep you always on your toes, asking those clarifying questions. How can I do this better? Where can I go? Who do I need to speak with? That's the fundamental understanding you have to understand. It's never the same situation. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Let me figure out how I can do things right in this specific situation.
It's all about asking the right questions of people who you work with and of yourself.
Exactly, and that all is based on understanding goals and objectives very plainly. We know you got great value out of this content. Please make sure you support us by following us on all social media platforms and subscribing. And until next time, Mindset Rebooted.
Sometimes when things go wrong, you can't blame life. Cause when you shot your shot, what was your aim like? What were you targeting? Cause if it ain't right and you still go with it, then that is on you.